The Five Mindfulness Trainings. First training. Aware of the suffering caused by the destruction of life, I am committed to cultivating compassion and learning ways to protect the lives of people, animals, plants, and minerals. I am determined not to kill, not to let others kill, and not to condone any act of killing in the world, in my thinking, and in my way of life. Second training. Aware of the suffering caused by exploitation, social injustice, stealing, and oppression, I am committed to cultivate loving kindness and learn ways to work for the well-being of people, animals, plants, and minerals. I am committed to practice generosity by sharing my time, energy, and material resources with those who are in real need. I am determined not to steal and not to possess anything that should belong to others. I will respect the property of others, but I will prevent others from profiting from human suffering or the suffering of other species on earth. Third training. Aware of the suffering caused by sexual misconduct, I am committed to cultivate responsibility and learn ways to protect the safety and integrity of individuals, couples, families, and society. I am determined not to engage in sexual relations without love and a long-term commitment. To preserve the happiness of myself and others, I am determined to respect my commitments and the commitments of others. I will do everything in my power to protect children from sexual abuse and to prevent couples and families from being broken by sexual misconduct. Fourth training. Aware of the suffering caused by unmindful speech and the inability to listen to others, I am committed to cultivate loving speech and deep listening in order to bring joy and happiness to others and relieve others of their suffering. Knowing that words can create happiness or suffering, I am committed to learn to speak truthfully with words that inspire self-confidence, joy, and hope. I am determined not to spread news that I do not know to be certain, and not to criticize or condemn things of which I am not sure. I will refrain from uttering words that can cause division or discord, or that can cause the family or the community to break. I will make all efforts to reconcile and resolve all conflicts, however small. Fifth training. Aware of the suffering caused by unmindful consumption, I am committed to cultivate good health, both physical and mental, for myself, my family, and my society, by practicing mindful eating, drinking, and consuming. I am committed to ingest only items that preserve peace, well-being, and joy in my body, in my consciousness, and in the collective body and consciousness of my family and society. I am determined not to use alcohol or any other intoxicant, or to ingest foods or other items that contain toxins such as certain TV programs, magazines, books, films, and conversations. I am aware that to damage my body or my consciousness with these poisons is to betray my ancestors, my parents, my society, and future generations. I will work to transform violence, fear, anger, and confusion in myself and in society by practicing a diet for myself and for society. I understand that a proper diet is crucial for self-transformation and for the transformation of society. The Noble Eightfold Path. 1. Right view. The Four Noble Truths. The truth about suffering is that it exists. Life is suffering. Birth, aging, and dying is suffering. Our reaching into the world of dreams, our desire to fulfill what cannot be fulfilled, is what brings us our suffering. Only when we have broken the mirrors of illusion can we end our suffering, and the Eightfold Path can help us to break our habits of suffering. When we are able to recognize suffering as it enters our lives, see that our own desires have brought us this pain, and understand that letting go of this desire can bring us peace, we have attained right view. 2. Right thought. Reality grows in the garden of the mind. Our world is the fruit of our thoughts that sprout from the seeds of ideas. We must therefore be discerning gardeners, looking carefully at what ideas we allow to take root within the mind. We must be able to recognize which ideas and thoughts are born of desire and which carry the seeds of desire that causes our suffering. The seeds of suffering that take root within the mind are those of greed, ill will, hostility, denigration, dominance, envy, jealousy, hypocrisy, fraud, obstinacy, presumption, conceit, arrogance, vanity, and negligence. In Buddhism, these are known as the 15 defilements, and the Buddha realized 6 methods for removing such defilements from the mind. Restraining. Restrain from what pleases the senses but bears poison. Using. Use all that we are, all that we have, all there is to cultivate peace. Tolerating. Tolerate all adversity, and never abandon our gardens to the wild. Avoiding. Avoid all that is impure and spoils the soil of the mind. Tend only to what is pure, and that which nurtures the pure. Destroying. Remove the defilements by destroying them from the root. Developing. Never cease to develop our skills of peacefulness. Right speech. We are often judged by our words. Long after we leave this world, our words shall remain. Words can often be sharper than the blade of the sword, bringing harm to the spirit of a person, which can cause wounds that are deeper and last longer than that of a dagger. Therefore, we must choose our words carefully. The Buddha realized 4 methods of speech that bring peace to our lives and the lives of those who surround us. Words of honesty. Speaking without truth can be a means to our end and to the end of others. Therefore, honesty is always the best policy. Words of kindness. Speaking words of kindness, we will never be the cause that divides hearts or puts brother against brother. We become peacemakers. Our words are cherished and valued, and shall bring peacefulness to ourselves and to those surrounding us. Words that are nurturing. Words that comfort rather than harm the heart shall travel to the heart and bring long-lasting peace. Words that are worthy. Speaking only what is worthy and valuable for the moment, our words will always be found sweet to the ears of others, and shall always be considered in a peaceful manner. Words of gossip, untruth, and selfishness do not return to us with peace. The worth of our words is measured by how much they improve the silence. Right action. All our lives we have been instructed to do the right thing. Often we are perplexed with what is the right thing. Ultimately, we must decide for ourselves what is right, but often our judgment is clouded by the defilements of the mind. While upon the Eightfold Path, we must remember that our aim is to end our suffering. All we do comes back to us in one way or another, eventually. What may be the right thing for the moment may not be the right thing for the next. Although this moment is the only one that exists, we must not fail to realize that within this moment, the past, present, and future are contained. The truly right does not change from moment to moment. Look deep within your own heart, and you will know what is right. The golden rule in Buddhism is, do no harm. The Buddha practiced the following code of conduct in his own life. Respect life. Earn all that you have. Control your desire rather than allow desire to control you. Right livelihood. Often when one begins practicing the ways of peace, a time comes when lifestyle must be evaluated. In this life, we have the opportunity to liberate ourselves from the cycle of suffering and find peace. We also have the opportunity to help others break free. Does one's way of life support or hinder the ways of peace? Only the heart knows. Right effort. The path is not an easy one. Our habits of suffering are strong and deeply imprinted in our way of life. It is difficult to maneuver peacefully in a world of chaos. Many of the things that we know we must let go of are things that we have held dearly, for we have fought fiercely to obtain them. Our very own self-worth and identity may have been formed with great personal sacrifice. Discipline and diligence is key to persevering on the path. Therefore, our decision to take up the path to liberation must be firm and executed with right effort. When we have realized the truth of suffering and are willing to seek liberation with the same tenacity as a drowning man struggles for a breath, then right effort has been attained. Right mindfulness. Being mindful of the heart of matters can help us to overcome suffering with understanding. When sitting, laying, or moving, being mindful of the following 4 frames of references are said by the Buddha to help us achieve great understanding and can even help us unlock the secrets that are within our hearts. The body. Paying attention to our physical being can help us direct the mind away from the distractions of the world. Focusing on our breath, our movements, our actions, our components, and on the sheer miracle of our physical existence, we can arrive at calmness and clarity. Feelings. Paying attention to our external and internal feelings, observing their rise and fall, can help us realize their origination, development, and decline. Understanding the nature of our feelings can help us let go and break our habits of clinging. mind. Turning the mind upon itself, observing our thoughts, can help us realize the origination and aim of our thoughts. With this understanding, we can understand the nature of the mind and overcome our thought habits of suffering. Mental qualities. Paying attention to our mental state of mind can help us recognize the 5 hindrances of our mentality: sensual desire, ill will, laziness, anxiety, and doubt. Observing their origination, development, and decline can help us realize how we can overcome them. By observing the origination, the components, the development, and the decline of things in regard to these frames of reference, we can find a deep understanding in the nature of ourselves, and to know our own hearts is to know the hearts of others. Right concentration. As we sail through life, the winds of desire push us towards the ocean of suffering, but the skillful stand firm in virtue at the helm, directing the rudder of the mind towards peace. Single-minded concentration on the path to peace, the Eightfold path, is right concentration. It is picking yourself up when you stumble and continuing onward. It is recognizing why you have fallen astray. It is recognizing when you are about to fall. It is continuing upon the path without hesitation or doubt. It is never ceasing to develop our skill in the way. The greatest achievement is selflessness. The greatest worth is self-mastery. The greatest quality is seeking to serve others. The greatest precept is continual awareness. The greatest medicine is the emptying of everything. The greatest action is not conforming with the world's ways. The greatest magic is transmuting the passions. The greatest generosity is non-attachment. The greatest goodness is a peaceful mind. The greatest patience is humility. The greatest effort is not concerned with results. The greatest meditation is a mind that lets go. The greatest wisdom is seeing through appearances.